A lot is going on in this video. Last night, we performed live. We talked about the implications of the Ripple v. SEC appeal, a topic that has many people in a state of panic and confusion. We'll talk about it. Without further ado, let's get started. Stay calm and relaxed as we dive into Bitcoin at $61,900, up 5%. It is true that XRP is down more than 11% and that the total market capitalization of cryptocurrency is now $2 trillion, or $1301 billion. In a few minutes, we will address the lawsuit, the appeal, what it means and doesn't mean, and why holders of XRP should not be concerned. At this time, USDT and USDC are also approaching their dollar pegs. They're selling like crazy. And without a trade card appeared. Afterward, I discovered that XRP is more expensive than it was initially. Was June the one who filed the appeal? Who are we? Panicking about the things that make us uneasy. We're more concerned about ourselves than we are about other people. We are currently sitting with increased disappointment, which is nothing. During the summer, specifically the dog days of summer, XRP experienced a decline of over 20% within the last 90 days in June. Let me explain Ripple versus the SEC to you, Burger. Ripple defeated the SEC 4-0 and consented to reimburse the agency for the fine. If the SEC decides to proceed with the appeal, I estimate the amount to be approximately $125 million, without any precision. However, this appeal could be rejected. It is debatable why the appeal is pending because Ripple is still 4-0 and has no bearing on anything. The lack of attractiveness stems from the fact that XRP does not qualify as a recorded security in the books, leaving the most crucial factor unaccounted for. For us XRP investors, it is undeniable that XRP is not a security. As of right now, Bloomberg has published an article stating that the SEC is appealing the fine because they want more money. Therefore, if this appeal continues, as we anticipate, it will continue until at least 2025. In the meantime, Ripple remains 4-0 for the upcoming year, as I mentioned in yesterday's live stream. You appear in court. The court finds you guilty of robbery and sentences you to prison, but you lose the case. Whether you file an appeal and start a new case or contest the current one because you don't think the evidence was enough or the decision was wrong, you're still at a loss. You remain incarcerated. You might assume that nothing changes when the bank robber appeals his conviction and receives a second chance. However, the decision is final until the appeal is heard, and the result will determine his fate. Either he is found guilty or not, or he may receive a lighter sentence. In the meantime, the appeal is still pending, and if it reaches the Supreme Court, a possibility given the SEC's unlikely victory, it could potentially drag out until 2028, just in time for another bull run. There's going to be another Bitcoin event. That's why I keep emphasizing that this event is not to be taken lightly. Meanwhile, some positive news has emerged regarding Bitwise's filing of the ETF. Canary then filed another ETF, resulting in 2 XRP ETFs, and none of these ETFs are affected by the ongoing legal dispute. Why is that? It's easy. Since XRP isn't a security, you can own an ETF if an asset isn't a security. Did you witness Canary's arrival? Did you notice that Bitwise withdrew the ETF? Bitwise did not remove their ETF and will not do so either. This is the decision. This is the document. The DC government filed a notice of appeal of Judge Torres's decision. However, what's remarkable about this is that, as Elena Turek pointed out, we have no idea what the SEC is or what they're appealing. Appealing not yet. According to Bloomberg, they are appealing and requesting more funding. This might be a cash grab. We're going to find out more details today, but perhaps they want to try to squeeze a few more dollars out of Ripple. We certainly are, but it makes no difference for the time being, and it won't matter for the following 2 years, either as the lawsuit or the appeal progresses. It has no impact on XRP's price. It does not affect XRP or Boron. The dismissal of the initial lawsuit had an impact on XRP's situation, even though it doesn't affect it today. We had to wait for the decision to see whether it was a security or not. The decision is final and cannot be questioned at this time. Instead, in the second video, we'll discuss Jeremy Hogan's comments because he essentially speaks for everyone. Jeremy Hogan advocates for everyone to take drastic measures. This is Stuart Aldera, who says that while the SEC's decision to file an appeal is unfortunate, it's not shocking. As we have seen, the SEC's decision to file an appeal is not surprising. As it stands, this is exactly what happened when Clayton and he decided to abandon the lawsuit in 2020. They left the building, and the man who dropped the lawsuit also left. Remember, there will be elections in November, which will likely take place within the next 6 to 7 weeks. Do you believe that the SEC will continue to employ Gary Gensler and his staff even if a new administration emerges? Are you considering the possibility that Gensler and his team will resign or leave and that a new administration will take over and declare, enough is enough? We're done? Accepting the laws would be ideal, as the SEC wants to start on a positive note now that this lawsuit is over. It would be beneficial for them if a new administrator simply informed them that the case had concluded. We managed to escape without incident. XRP is not a security here, which makes us happy, and we're okay. If Gensler and the SEC had been reasonable, they would have taken action. The SEC's integrity and reputation have been harmed rather than protecting investors as a result of this case from a long time ago, and for some reason, they still haven't learned the lesson they lost on everything that matters to you, from Brad. They have failed on all significant fronts, and the biggest hindrance to Ripple's sustainability in the US is the classification of XRP as a security. It states that the legal system and the cryptocurrency sector have already triumphed as a security. While we continue to fight in court for as long as necessary, let's be patient. The current legal framework maintains clear XRP status as a non-security even in the face of a foolish and vexing appeal. The most significant point is that the SEC made it clear they had no intention of contesting the status of XRP as a non-security, despite their unsuccessful attempt to file an interlocutory appeal. The SEC has stated that they are not disputing XRP's status, an issue at hand. What does that mean? This suggests that central banks function as remittance corporations. Let's imagine that the Federal Reserve is implementing blockchain technology, digital ledger technology, and the XRP ledger for any business in the US that desires to utilize it. They also want to add a bonus. We have approved the use of Ripple stablecoins. Thus, the key at this point is to simply control our emotions. It's not a dire situation to be concerned about XRP. Even if Bitcoin attempts to close the CME gap by remaining in the $52-$2000 range, I don't see us falling below that level. However, many individuals on Twitter like to stir up speculation that XRP is headed towards zero. Now that we are maintaining a good level, we noticed a slight decline late last night when people in other nations or on the other side of the globe went to sleep. I should tell everyone to wake up and just unwind. If this is too much for you, take a breath. Go now and return in a month when the markets are beginning to rise and Bitcoin is reaching new heights.